work area. And here we go. If you're just joining me, you happen to click by Just Stamp with Anna Marie. It is Friday happy hour. We are going to make a sweet Galentine or Valentine's treat to gift. I'll share with you all of the details and what I'm using to craft and what you include in the little gift. So it's a sweet pouch. You're going to add a mug treats. It's a chocolate chip cookie mix that you place right inside. Super cute, even includes the topping. And you can add your personal spin with the paper craft project that I've got to share with you today. So the focus of the project today is two things. I am decorating with the Sweet Conversations bundle that's in the Holiday Mini. And I'm also picking up one of my old favorites, the Pampered Pets, the little dog, that little terrier there, we're going to be using to decorate the project. So I'll give you the measurements as we go by. And one more thing, the paper we're using today is the Valentine's paper in the mini catalog. It's called Sweet Treat, and you can see all the different patterns. I'm going to be using that one right here, but you could pick on any of them for the holiday. And then I've also got my little reference chart here, so I'm going to be picking up some of the coordinating colors that go with the designer series paper. So let's get started. You might want to take measurements or take notes, because I'm going to give out measurements on how to craft the pocket for that sweet treat. So we are going to start with the basic white thick cardstock. This measures 6 inches by 10.5. Then I've got the Sweet Talk Designer Series paper, and it measures 3.5 by 10.5 as well. We're going to be doing some scoring with the Essential Tool. So I've got my, whoops, sorry about that. I've got my Essential Tool number 1 ready to go. Hello, Betty. Thanks for joining me. I've got my Essential Tool number 1. What I love about the Stampin' Trimmer is that I've got the 2 blades on it, and I'm going to be doing both cutting and scoring on here, so it's going to work out nicely for us. And I'm going to start with the foundation of the pocket. It is the basic white. Again, it's 10.5 by 6, and we're going to do our scoring. So I'm going to move that cutting blade out of the way, and I'm going to need the extension on the trimmer. And we're going to start with our scoring at 1/2 inch. So, and I moved that cutting blade right out of the way not to get confused. And you all know I get confused easily, so here we go. My next measurement is at 5 inches, right through here. And then I've got 5.5, right through here. So let's see. Since Valentine's Day is coming up, let me ask a question. This is a this or that question. So which would you rather be gifted for Valentine's Day? Are you a chocolate person or are you a flower person? Would you rather get chocolates or would you rather get flowers? Hello, Debbie J. Thanks for joining me today. We are making a super cute, sweet project for Valentine or Galentine's Day. And I'm asking, would you rather get chocolate or flowers for Valentine's Day? And then my final score is going to be at 10. So I'm going to recap. We kind of got caught up in the middle of that. So on my 10.5 inch side, I'm scoring at 1/2 inch, 5 inch, 5.5, and then 10 inches. Then I'm going to rotate the paper, and it doesn't matter if it's clockwise or counter. It's a basic white. Oh, so Debbie says flowers. Let's see. I'm going to hold out. I'm going to follow up on that one. So let's score at 5 on the 6 inch side. We're going to score at 5. And then we're going to score at 5.5. So just 2 scores are 1/2 inch apart. There we go. So So if you'd rather get flowers, would you rather get roses or would you rather get tulips or another flower? All right, so we've got our scoring done. I'm going to go ahead and continue on my scoring of my designer series paper. And the designer series paper with all the hearts measures 3.5 by 10.5 inches. I'm going to do my scoring on the designer series paper, and I'm going to score at 1/2 inch. And I've got my cutting blade out of the way. So Maria says she likes carnations, and Debbie says roses. Well, that's like the traditional flower, right? So roses are nice to get. Carnations are pretty. They last a long time, don't they? Roses do too. I like tulips. I like wildflower kinds of things. So 10.5, then I'm going to go to 5. Then I'm going to do 5.5. And if this is sounding familiar, it's because you're pretty much scoring on the same marks as on the basic white. So then I'm going to push that over to 10 inches here. There we go. All right, so I'm also going to be doing some cutting on the diagonal. So I'm going to put my designer series paper aside. I'm still going to need my stamping trimmer. I'm just going to put it aside for now. And we are going to form the foundation of the pocket. So if you look closely at it, you can see I've got 2 layers going on. This one's a little bit different, and I'm going to be switching it up. So this is kind of like a reference project. I'm actually going to be flipping it, and I think it's going to come out nicer this way, and I'll tell you why after I do it. So right now we're working on the foundation. Instead of the Blushing Bride, I'm using just a basic white. What we're going to do is take our essential tool number 2, that bone folder, and we are going to fold and burnish on all the score lines that we just created. So we created some vertical score lines. There's the 1/2 inch score line. Then I'm going to fold up and score on the 5 and the 5.5. And then finally on that 10-inch one, and I'm going to bring that down. All right, so we decided well, some of us like flowers, different kinds of flowers. So if you were to get chocolates, are you a dark chocolate or a milk chocolate lover? Which would you rather have? And so that's kind of like a this or a that. So this is milk chocolate and that is dark chocolate. Which would you rather have? So I've folded and burnished on all the score lines. If I've got one more. And on the horizontal side, so that would be on the 6-inch side, we scored at 5 and at 5.5. So now we're going to take some of these away, and you can kind of see the foundation of the box starting to form here. What we're going to do is snip away some of these pieces, and I've also got one more reference for you. So this is what we're shooting for, and I'm going to go ahead and show you how I created this shape out of this rectangle. So Debbie says milk chocolate, and I'm going to share it too. I like dark chocolate. In fact, if you're in California, one of the best chocolates, I think, one of the local chocolates is the C's chocolate. And I love the dark chocolate. And I have it narrowed down to a specific chocolate. I love the dark chocolate Bordeaux. So don't get me wrong, I will eat the other chocolates. But if I had my way, it would be dark chocolate Bordeaux's all night and all day. I love that. That's my favorite. Okay, so all I've done is make a snip on the 5.5 vertical score line, and just to avoid cutting straight, I'm going to go ahead and use my trimmer, and I'm going to remove this entire flap down at the bottom. So I'm going to bring back in my trimmer. This time I'm going to use the cutting blade. So I'm going to push the scoring blade out of the way. So you can kind of see the weight of my heart would be like some tulips and some dark chocolates. So now I'm going to bring my cutting blade, and I'm going to start at the 5.5-inch mark, and I'm actually going in reverse. So I'm going to bring that up, and I can see on my sorry, did I say 5.5 or 5? So where we need to be is at the 5.5 inch mark. I can see on my vertical ruler right here, I've got 5.5. So there's a 5.5. I'm going to put the cutting blade down and I'm going to push up and remove that piece. So there you go, removed. And then I am going to remove some of this tab here. So I'm going to come down about 2 inches and remove that top portion of that tab. So right here. And again, I'm going to bring my cutting blade down. I can see the 2 inches there, and I'm going to do the same thing I did just a second ago. I'm going to push up and cut, and then I'm going to bring in my snips, and I'm just going to snip it at an angle and remove it. So there we go. So now we have that tab created. I do want to remove this little tab down on the left, and I'm just going to use my paper snips and take that off. 2 little squares, 1/2 inch squares. So I'm going to cut that off. So this is a super cute treat you can give friends. And when I worked at the school, I would give these like to the office people. So they're fast to produce, and I think they go a long way in just giving someone a little gifty. And if you want to know what I'm putting in, I'm going to be putting in the Betty Crocker mug treats. So they come in packets with the topping, and it's all ready to go. Super easy to put together. Okay, so now I'm going to create the diagonal, and you can see on my original, I had the diagonal coming down on the right. This one I'm going to flip it, just like a mirror image. I'm going to come down to the left. So I'm going to come down 2 inches. So what I'm going to be doing is measuring and then cutting. So I'm going to bring back my Stampin' Right, and I'm going to measure down to 2 inches. So coming over, I'm going to bring in my blade, and I'm going to measure right here to 2 inches. Let's see if I can put a little dot right there. And what I'm going to do is cut on the diagonal. And by the way, I measured the 2 inches right where the tab ends. So it's going to be the end of the envelope. So I'm going to place my base, my project base down on the ditch of the trimmer, starting at the 5.5 inch score line up here. And I'm going to bring it down to that little dot that I created. It looks like I'm going to need to bring it up here. So what I'm going to do is shoot for this on the ditch, that little point that I made at 2 inches, and I'm going to bring the top up at the 5.5 inch score, and we are going to remove that piece. So I'm just going to press down and cut. So now I've made the diagonal there, and you can kind of see the box coming along, and we're not done yet. I want to do the same with my wrap or my designer series paper. And so this also is going to come down about 2 inches on the left. So again, I'm going to want to place a little mark at the 2 inch mark, right like so. And I'm going to cut from, because the designer series paper, it's a little bit harder to see the score line. I'm going to go ahead and fold it. There, and I'm going to come and bring this on the score line down to the dot that goes on the ditch of the trimmer, and I'm going to press down and cut. So there we go. All right, so we've got our wrap made as well. You can see how it's coming along. I'll share with you how I put it together and how I decorated it. All right, so we are going to use some tear and tape. It's a nice aggressive tape, and I love that it literally tears off. So I'm going to put some down on the bottom of the flap. This is going to be adhered up to create the pocket for the treat. Then let's see, I'm going to place that there, and then I'm going to want to put some tear and tape on the inside. So the back tab, the tab is going to go to the back. I need to put tear and tape on the reverse side here. Just coming down like so. So if you had a wish for Valentine's Day, what would you wish for? If it's not chocolate, not flowers, what would you like as a gift? And sometimes we get that from family members or a spouse or a good friend. What would be your choice? All right, so now I'm gonna do, and I'm looking around for my essential tool to take your pick, and I'm gonna remove the covering from the tear and tape so we can seal that up. So now it's sticky, and I'm gonna close this up, and what I wanna do is be really careful about aligning it. And you know the tear and tape is gonna be aggressive, so hopefully I can get this right aligned here, just like so. And then I'm going to do the side as well. Uh-oh, I put the, let's see, there it is. So now I need to reveal on the tear and tape. So I've got the sticky there, and that's gonna be folded up. Sorry, folded down. There we go. All right, so there is our pocket. Oh, I should have done one thing before I assembled that. So let me see if I can still do it. I want to round that corner, so I'm going to bring in my trio punch, and I'm just going to insert this right at an angle. So I've got, this is a punch that has 3 different options here, and it does have some guides here, so you can put it in at the paper in at the right angle. And if we slip that in and press down right in the middle, now it's kind of rounded, and that just adds a little extra detail to the project. So next, what I'm going to do is add my wrap, and you can see it kind of falls into place. Oh, so I need to actually fold it. That's going to help it as well. So let's see if I can get that right on the fold, on the score. And use my bone folder to bring it in. And then also on the 10-inch and on the 1/2 inch. And so what I'm going to do, because we are going to be putting something in this pocket, I actually want to make sure that our sachet or our little envelope of syrup, let's see, doesn't fall out. So here's what I mean. As we slip this in, if we don't put any kind of adhesive down there, it's just going to slip out. So we want to put a tiny bit of adhesive, and it could be tear and tape, it could be my favorite Tombow, any adhesive that's going to seal that up to prevent the sachet from falling out. There we go. Just like so. It's going to be fairly easy, and I'm going to wrap that. And it's liquid glue, which is my favorite. You might have heard me say that once or twice. It's very forgiving, which means I can kind of slip the paper, and it will allow me to do that without any fuss. And one thing I've neglected to do was cut this part off. And I have that in my notes, but I neglected to do it. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do it now, and that just means I need to snip this off so that it's the same length here is the other tab. Let's see. And that's the 1/2 inch tab right through here. All right, so favorite wish for a Valentine or Galentine's gift, what would it be? We've got chocolates covered, we've got flowers covered, and you could have other gifts in mind. I'm going to share with you what, actually you're going to see what would be another great Valentine's Day gift option. So remember, it's coming up on the 14th. Every year it's on the February 14th, and I say that because a lot of us get taken by surprise when the holiday comes, and all of a sudden it's like, oh my gosh, it's that day already, and I'm not ready for it yet. So if you want any Valentine's themed supplies, I would suggest you order them sooner rather than later. And you have plenty of time to create your gifts. It's just that you're going to want to have the supplies. Oh, and Debbie has a great gift idea. It would be jewelry, of course, like in that little blue box, right? So that's all. That was a gift for any day. So jewelry could be diamonds, could be, I don't know, something simple. So there we go. Our pocket is coming along, and because that's a liquid glue, it just needs a little bit of time to dry there. I don't know. I'm going to ask if you like it better in white with the white background or the blushing bride. We're not quite finished yet. So the reason I mirrored it is because when you put it in here, look how you have the little image from the packaging peeking through. And that was my idea of why I wanted it flipped the other way. I just think it reveals the little secret of what the treat is a lot better. So I like it better flipped than flopped. This is what it would be. And let me keep going. We're going to decorate this. We're going to start off with some pretty ribbon. And this is real red ribbon, and I cut about 24 inches. And we're just going to wrap the box and tie a little bow in front. And we're going to put our Valentine's Day tag on to make it, wrap it up and put a bow on it, so to speak, literally. There we go. And I'm going to still want it off slightly to one side. So I'm going to put this one slightly to the left. And hopefully I can tie a pretty bow here. So yeah, you're going to see what my wish for Valentine's Day. Oops, I'm going to give it another try. So y'all know my favorite, or my friend for ribbon tying, is a glue dot. And that is so helpful. You don't struggle that way. You can see my struggle keeping the ribbon in place and trying to tie the bow. It's like trying to do too many things at once. So my friend the glue dot comes in, and this is just a mini glue dot. These are from my paper pumpkin kits that I hoard those glue dots because they come in very handy for other projects. So now with that little glue dot in place, I can tie the bow without struggling to hold on to the ribbon going in all directions. So I've got my pretty little bow, and we're just going to create, look at that. Wow, the bow does a lot, right? The ribbon and the bow kind of make the project. And let's see, bringing this in here, we're going to create a tag in just a second. There we go. And what I'm going to use for the tag, I mentioned that I was using the Sweet Conversations bundle. And this is, did I mention it's a no stamping project? I don't think I did yet. What I am using are the dies, the Sweetheart dies. And this comes with coordinating hearts and cute little envelope and banners that you can cut your stamp images with. But it also has a sweet little tag. And so I pre-cut one of those little tags in basic white. I also cut one of the little hearts in real red cardstock. So I'm going to just attach that to my tag. And this one's going to be adhered with just flat adhesive, so liquid glue, just like so. I'm going to bring it up in here, and I'm trying to decide what side I want. I think I want it on this side. And then I'm going to put one of the little hearts from the designer series paper. Look at that, how sweet. It says BFF, and this is like in a Highland Heather purplish color. This one's going to pop up with a dimensional. And so I used the hearts from the die set to cut from the designer series paper. If you were to hand snip, it would be an easy job as well, but you get perfect hearts this way. So the BFF goes right on top there. And I'm using a little bit of twine from the, it would be nice if I knew the trio that this comes from, the twine from the mini catalog. I love this red and white twine. There we go. This is actually in the sports bundle, and I'm going to just slip this through, put the tag through, and I'm going to bring it from the back, and then the front through the loop of the ribbon, and I'm going to tie a little knot. I'm going to keep it rather short, so just like so. And there we go. We're almost done. So I told you, this is a really easy project. It's a no stamping project. So easy to do. You can easily assembly line it and make multiples, but we're not done yet. I'm going to see if I can push that up just a little bit. I want to put a little dot or a little dimensional to keep the tag in position. And not finished yet. I'm going to add, this would be my wish for Valentine's Day gift. How about a puppy for Valentine's Day? Oh my gosh, I think that would be so awesome. Hello, Debbie. Nice to see you here. I'm so happy you made it for Happy Hour Friday. So I'm going to put my little Valentine's gift wish on with Stampin' Dimensionals. Now you might recognize him. He is from the Pampered Pets bundle. So stinking cute, this little terrier. And I cut him, you can imagine when there was coordinating paper that Anna Marie invested in a future supply. So I have loads of paper still. I knew I would be wanting to use this image, the paper often. So there we go. I'm going to pop him on with some dimensionals. And I just kind of did a trio, a couple down at the bottom. And these are the minis. Perfect. They work perfectly. And he's going to go right onto the little package here. So you can see the loyal BFF right there. And so on the original, which is like the mirror image, this little terrier was not cut from the paper. He was actually stamped and then cut with the die cuts. So I do like the little image from the paper. He works out nicely, but so does the stamped image. So little Valentine's Day treat for the peeps in your life, whether it be for Valentines or Galentines. You want to be sure to have lots of little gifts on hand to gift the people in your life. How about a little chocolate chip cookie mix treat? I love it. I would love to get it. And it's so cool. You can make it in a mug. It's so easy, microwavable, and done in just a second. So there you go. There is my Happy Hour project. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, be sure to post below, and I'll try to follow up. The measurements were pretty easy. So you start with the foundation that's 10.5 by 6, and the wrap is 10.5 by 3.5. And you're going to be scoring at 1/2 inch, 5 inch, 5.5, and 10. So super easy to remember, really easy to put together. Thank you, Debbie. I appreciate that. And I hope you're joining me. I've got my Vanilla Sky cocktail. I am ready for the weekend. My mixologist put this together for me. It's one of my cruise treats. This is the Tahiti drink, and super tasty. It's a great way to kick off the weekend. And I know I've got plenty of crafting on my plan for the weekend. I hope you do too. If you need anything to get started on your Valentine's Day projects, give me a comment or a message. I'd be happy to help. If you're thinking about placing an order, reach out to me so that I can help you get the best value in your order. It is celebration time. I don't want you to miss out on any of the perks that you're entitled to. All right, my friends, have a wonderful weekend. I will see you back here on the 1st. Paper Pumpkin is coming up on February 1st. I will be unpacking and creating the kit as is. Fingers crossed though, because I have not received my Paper Pumpkin kit yet. I've gotten plenty of notices that it's on its way. I know this month's kit was a little bit late, but I'm trying to be patient. There's so many shipping issues going on that I know it's out of Stampin' Up's hands, and it'll get here hopefully with plenty of time for me to craft and still get those Valentines in the mail. So join me on the 1st at 7 p.m. to unpack the January Paper Pumpkin kit. See you then. Until then, have a great weekend.